Oh, what is? It is the rapey day, and I am probably going to spend. We're probably just going to do this whole vlog, like right here, because my ride is going to be here like about 25 minutes or so, and I have two appointments today. It's not just the rapey day. I also have to go see my primary, and he is going to be probably not happy when he finds out that I quit taking the Ozempic. But I exaggerate that a little bit. He'll probably understand, maybe. But if he doesn't understand, then fuck him, because I'm not dealing with that nausea and 3 days a week of just vomiting. Um, that was not fun. That was definitely not fun. So what's been going on with me? Do you guys know? Because I don't. I kid, I kid. So the first thing I want to talk about is that audio on the last ride along we did, me ride you long time video. God. Well, let me explain what happened. I used the same microphone that I'm using right here, except that instead of going into the Pocket 3 or the Action 5 cameras, it was going into the X5 via Bluetooth, and apparently there's radio connection problems there. It's not good. It was not good. And if you sat there through hi, Miss Bonnie Bonnie Boo. So if you sat there through like that entire hour and a half ride along video, then you know what I'm talking about. The audio was bad. Um, so we're not doing that anymore. uh, I have a couple of Bonnie's over here trying to be all sneaky, sneaky. She's gonna try to sneak up on me and steal all my kibble bits. I keyed. How do I reach these keys? Um, anyway, where was I at? So we're not doing that anymore. I think what I'm gonna do from now on when we do the ride-alongs, because I never know, like my voice sometimes just jumps like 20,000 decibels, and things get all over the place, kinda. So these microphones, they do actually record in 32-bit float when you record internally to the transmitters, which obviously gives me, if you know about 32-bit float, obviously, it gives you a lot more flexibility to fix some of those like loudness clipping problems. Doesn't do anything to help like when it's going in and out, but if you're recording internally, those problems were created because of the Bluetooth, because of, excuse me, radio transmission, interference or whatever. Never had that problem with the Pocket 3 or the Action 4 or 5. Only for whatever reason with the X5, I guess the Bluetooth on there just sucks ass. The reason that I haven't been doing that already is because I was just trying to make things easier on me in post. Uh, so recording the audio internally, that's just one less thing that I had to sync in post. But it's just one more little thing to sync in post. So that's what we're probably going to do next time, and try to fix that out. I have other alternatives I could do. Of course, I could always go back to recording it onto the Action 5. Nah. We'll try the 32-bit float thing. We'll float around, hang out on clouds, and then we'll come down and have a hangover, or whatever it says in the good book. Uh, I have got this like thing on the back of my ear, and it pusses, and it's like right where that tumor is. It's weird. But like we haven't done anything to the tumor, so I don't think and the tumor hasn't grown. So I don't think it has anything to do with that. That's probably just all like coinky dink or whatever they shrink. I don't know about that. But I don't know about that, boy. Uh, it's such a shame because that was a good ride, despite me accidentally not paying attention and cutting that guy off up in Massanutten. That could have ended much worse. So knocking on some wooden doors, or however that song goes. Um, but it was a good ride. That was a very long, exhausting ride, but it was a good ride. And we had our moments. We had our moments on that ride, but I feel like a lot of it was just ruined because of how bad the audio was. It's the old thing when, you're doing video. We say, it's better to have bad video than bad audio, because, video, I mean, most of us, I keep forgetting how old I am now, but, a lot of us remember like the early days of YouTube, and like when the standard, it was like webcams and stuff like that, and the webcams were even worse than like those old school high 8 camcorders and shit like that, so like, video quality was poor, but we could deal with that. It's not a big problem. But bad audio can hurt, literally. Um, so, you're always better to have good audio with poor video. And I feel like I failed you on that front. And I am sorry, especially as a guy who prides himself in being an audio guy. I have been literally working with audio in one way or another since I was 7 years old. So, like 40 years. I've been literally working with audio for 40 years. Um, but I'm also always experimenting and everything. The only reason I started recording the audio into the X8 instead of the Action 5, or well, it was the Action 4 before that, but whatever. The only reason I started doing that was because I wanted to try making some of those videos into like actual 360 videos. But in order to do that and have YouTube recognize it as a 360 video, I had to edit that version of it inside of the Insta Studio software instead of DaVinci. And the Insta Studio software wouldn't allow you either to turn a mono or a stereo signal into mono, or to add an extra audio microphone track. It's fucked up. The reason that that's important, or at least the mono to, or stereo to mono thing is important, is because a lot of times when you got a receiver or whatever that has like two microphones, it will record one microphone to the left side and the other microphone to the right side. And the purpose of that is so that you can have two separate channels for each one, and then you sub them to mono in post, so you still get them through both speakers, but on separate channels, giving you more flexibility in post and everything. So, but the 360 videos that I did do, I think I did two of them and I released one. Um, you know, the picture quality is terrible. And it was worse in VR. Well, it's not terrible, it's just not good. Not up to my expectations. Um, and it's so much more trouble than it's worth. So I'm not doing it like that anymore. And if I am, I'll just pre-plan it that way and figure out another way, because I can still connect this through the we call it the receiver to the X5 and record it that way. I just have to remember to set it into mono instead of the stereo beforehand. And it's not true 8K. It's advertised as being an 8K camera, and it technically is resolution wise and everything, but it's not really 8K because the sensor size won't allow it to be. It's the sensor size is like less than an inch, and it doesn't stack up for real 8K content. If it was real 8K content, you could produce that shit in VR and put on your VR headset, and it'd look almost like crystal clear. I know I'm in the my Meta Quest headset, almost every day, and I know the difference between 1080p, 4K, and 8K, and some of them 8K videos are like amazing, and coming off of the X5, definitely not. It's about on standard with some of the 1080p content, as a matter of fact, that I've seen. However, using it for flat videos, like normal videos, and then just using the 360 feature to like reframe your shots, that's a completely different story. That's a completely different ball game, and that's what I'm keeping it for. That's why I'm continuing to use it, because if you've watched these last few ride-along videos, you'll see that is very useful. And I am sorry if you did not want to see me panning around when we're passing girls and stuff. I'm sorry. But whatever. I pan around for the cows and some of the cars and stuff too. So um, at least I'm not super bad with it. Whatever, Steve. Anyway, what else we got going on? I just threw out a whole bunch of shit out of my refrigerator and my cabinets. Um, I mean, I knew that I had a few old things in there, stuff that was no mo good, and I just, kept putting it off and putting it off. I didn't realize until like I actually started going through all that shit. It was like more than half of the shit in my refrigerator and my cabinets was old and expired. I was looking at some of my old hot sauces, and well, actually, I don't really call them hot sauce because it's like Texas Pete and stuff like that. It's not really hot sauce. But some of the fucking bottles expired in like 2021. That was the oldest date that I found was 2021. I was like, oh shit, man, throw that out. And some of them were 2022 and 2023. Those eggs were a little closer, but it was still like, I think around January of this year or something, So throw them eggs out too. I know eggs are about $50,000 a carton or something right now, but um, I'm not eating no eggs from like 1962. Uh, so you know. Anywho, so I also broke out my Instapot and stuff. Let me know down in the commental section if you want to see a couple more like cooking videos now that I got the Instapot back out. Because I am planning on here soon making some paschetti and some stuff like that. I am also planning, probably when I come home today, to make a magic pie. So I might go ahead and film that, and then if y'all don't want to see it, well, you just cannot watch it, asshole. Don't be a jerk about it. Uh, I'm playing. But I'm saying, uh, my magic pie recipe is like really pretty simple. Um, but few people might want to see it. If you want to see like more of those cooking videos, again, now that I got the Instapot out, let me know. You know, because if I'm gonna, the reason I say let me know is because if I've got I keep saying all the time, like without even thinking about it, uh, but um, filming myself cooking in the Instapot is going to be more tricky than those other two cooking videos that I did. So I'll do it if you guys want to see it. But if nobody really cares, then I'm just probably won't bother with it. I don't know. I probably will still like the magic pie because, you know, I like to share that magic pie because, you know, I don't got much going for me in this world. I really, really don't. I am an old-ish, gross blob of a toothless man with no real hopes for the future. Um, but I make a hell of a fucking magic pie, man. Reese's peanut butter and Hershey's chocolate in a graham crust and a quarter stick of butter. Mmm, that's good. That's good. Right there. That's good. That's some good. Right there. Um, it really, really is. And of course, I mean, I also add like sugar and an egg and you know, a little bit of milk. Um, but yeah, that's good stuff. It is good stuff. And also, we're probably going to be going back to the Canna Market here soon. I haven't talked to my dad about that yet, but probably going to be doing that here really soon because I'm starting to get low on my waxy wax. Well, not really low, but low enough that, you know, I think it's about time to re-up. I might skip getting the disposables. I knew I should have brought that disposable down here just to show you guys. But like I bought two the last time, and I haven't even finished off the first one yet, and we're already talking about going back. So I don't know if there's really much point of me buying more disposables this time around. You know, that'll save me $50. And I am like sitting here probably getting ready to make a magic pie when I get home. And like I'm already thinking about buying another one of them Wonka bars when we go. And I will, you know. I have a fridge just full of magic pie and magic cookies. And I'm still going to buy one of them Wonka bars, man. That Wonka bar was awesome. Uh, I had one of my friends over here. I gave her just like one piece of it, you know, and she said she was pretty well baked off of that one piece. I usually eat like two or three pieces at a time, but you know, I do stuff like that a lot too. So, um, you know, I did get some Eddies out there the last time though that were like almost completely bunk. It said 1,000 milligrams on the package, but you know, like Elvis said, that was just a lie. It was, well, I don't, I think what happened was it was a combination of two things. It probably was that it said 1,000 milligrams a package and was actually 100 milligrams per package, and then was expired. So you know, if you know anything, if you don't know this about cannabis, you know, like cannabis doesn't go bad, but it does lose potency over time. So I think that's what happened because somebody else I know who got some from that same table said the same thing, and they said that they had checked the date on their package and it was like 3 years ago or something like that. So, you know, that could explain some of that. I ain't buying shit from that table no more. I go back to my normal table because, you know, my wax at the one table is like $120 for an ounce. So for around here, that is by far the best price that I've ever seen. And sometimes they got batter, sometimes they got sugar, and sometimes both. The last time they had for $130, you could get an ounce that was half sugar and half batter. But I think I'm going to start going just for the batter from now on because the sugar is a solvent-based extract, and the stuff I got last time doesn't taste the best. It's not great. I mean, luckily it doesn't have that sulfur taste. At least you know it's more like a burnt soap or something, if that makes sense. But so I don't think it's like because there was butane left in. Um, but I don't like that idea. I don't like the idea of that. If you don't really know the difference, the difference is with solvent-based extracts. They usually will like cook it in butane and stuff, and then they basically drain the butane at the end of the process. But sometimes whoever's making it doesn't do a good job draining that butane. Uh, Whereas solventless based extracts is usually like pressing rosin. I think batter is done pretty much the exact same way, where you take your nug or however much flour you're pressing, and you put it in between some parchment paper, and then you put it under like a big heated press. And so the press heats up and then squeezes your flour and then just presses all of those juicy terpenes out of it. The caveat to that, though, is that you need fresh flour. It can't be too old to where the terpenes have all dried out, because you can rehydrate your flour with Bodiva packs and stuff, but you're not getting them terpenes back unless you add artificial terpenes to it. Um, so, if you want a home press or whatever, and get a good yield, always use fresh flour. And that's the difference between like live rosin and cured rosin too, because cured rosin, like the name implies, is done after the flour has already been cured, and live rosin is done before the curing process. Just I'm glad I could be of some education to you guys. IR graduate, IR graduate, or whatever they say. Probably not that. Um, but all right, what else we got? I was hoping next week maybe I could do my visit to Stanton for the medicine bag video, where we're going to complete making my medicine pouch here. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to work out because it is supposed to be clear and sunny next week, but it's going to be like 100 degrees. And there is not any shade at my mama's graveside. There is not a shade in sight. Well, I mean, there's a shade in sight, but it's like, way over that way over yonder, or as they say around here, up road a piece right fur. It's up road a piece right fur ball. Um, so, that, I guess that's still going to have to wait. But we are going to do that video because, I want to. It's an important one. Uh, and yes, I know Dreamcast and Stacy, the about the shit doing the apartment tour. There's really nothing to tour. Um, those pictures I posted from my living room. That's pretty much like the whole living room, just about. It's not much to it, man. That tour will be over in like 30 seconds. Almost longer than me in bed. Not really, but Keys is doing great. She's being a little, being her usual little sassy self. I have dubbed her. Well, I've dubbed her a couple new names. One is Dottie, just because her little Hitler stash. When I look at her face, that's all I can think sometimes is, you are a fucking Dottie. You are a Dottie, little dot. And the other name is Mrs. Sass. If she likes you, she'll turn around and offer you a little ass. Mrs. Sass. Because she is one big old fur ball of sass. And I love her for it. I do. I like my women sassy. I do. Because, sassy girls, it's like, you get on their nerves and they will let you know about it. they might claw or hiss at you or, whatever. But when you rub them the right way, they are going to purr like a baby. Or, well, purr. Like, that don't make no sense. They're going to purr for you. And, at the end of the day, you know where they stand. So all hats off to a sassy girl. We love you over here. We love you over here. Um, I'm gonna check the time. Oh, it is. It is almost that time, and we've only gotten through like 3 subjects. So we should probably do a little bit of remedial math going on here. How many joints are in a lid? 2. I roll big joints, man. Whatever, I'm sorry. Yeah, that is a toothpick. um, yeah, so mentally speaking, I'm kind of like still all over the place. That is an important note, I guess, to touch on. I have been now, what was it, toward the end of 2019, early 2020. Um, since I started taking psychiatric medication, I think this is the longest I have ever been without taking psychiatric medication. And I am all over the fucking place. But I'm good. I mean, sort of. Good-ish. I'm surviving, is what I'm saying. Uh, you know, there's a whole lot of like back and forth. I know I had promised y'all like 5 years ago when I made that whole announcement that I was quitting the Seroquel, keep you guys updated. And I'm sorry, I have done a piss poor job of that. I mean, you kind of like watch it play out in real time a little bit and seeing how different my content has become, yet still the same somehow. Um, because I'm a fucking weirdo. Uh, but I don't regret uh, coming off of it though. Despite the mood swings and the ups and downs and the loneliness and all of that yibba yabba dooba dabba scuba scabba. The Seroquel was literally killing me. Um, you know, I think I explained this way back, but that was like 5 years ago or whatever. But the Seroquel had me at it's like 340 pounds. I had just been diagnosed as diabetic. My A1C was like 7.4. And then we weaned me off of the Seroquel. Over the next year, my weight shot down to like 260. And my A1C has been like 5 ever since. And I have not been exercising. I have not been eating right or any of that shit. The only thing I did that they wanted me to do, at least for a little while, and not for very long, but for a little while, was take the metformin. But that didn't last super long either, But I went right back to my like strawberry sodas and my frozen pizzas and my regular peanut butter because fuck that sand peanut butter bullshit. That is bullshit. Ain't nobody got time for that. Um, that shit is for people who got no taste buds. Kind of like those like little instant coffee tubes you buy at the dollar store. Fuck that bullshit. That motor oil bullshit. Um, so, but yeah, like I have not, other than that, I have not done, the only things I did right was quit taking the Seroquel and take the metformin for a little bit. And like I said, I took the metformin for a little bit. I quit taking it. And like my A1C is still hanging around 5. So, what does that tell you? It was all about the Seroquel the whole time. Plus, if I took it on a full stomach, I couldn't sleep. So I always had to take it on an empty stomach which meant that I had to plan my meals for after I took the Seroquel. And you never knew how long it was going to take that Seroquel to kick in. So, like, you could be 5 minutes after frying something on the stove and start passing out. Wake up with your face in the hot stove. Um, it's kind of dangerous. So, like, it had me like living off of frozen pizzas and microwave meals and stuff like that, because it was almost to the point that it was dangerous to like actually cook. Um, oh shit! Get out of here! That is a fucking hornet. Uh, get get out of here! Sorry, throwing them like little sissy, whatever. I hit him with the open palm punch. But you know, so I am still, despite the mood swing, all of that, I am super glad to still be off of the Seroquel, and I don't think that any of that medication is worth the shit that you go through taking it. You know, um, like the old album of hymnals. It's a pharmacy, is what it really is. It's like that Ozempic bullshit. Yeah, I was starting to lose weight on it. I was, but and it was nice. Being able to get full on like half the food, sometimes less than half of the food. But then when the nausea and the stomach pains hit, and then like sometimes every week for 3 days, just straight vomiting for 3 days straight, you know, the hell with that. We're not doing that. I'll just be fat. I'll be a fat, gross blob rather than having to deal with that. You know, I mean, half of my depression and shit really just kind of stems from being lonely. But then, I say that, and then you get around somebody and be around them for too long and, start like wanting some time alone, and then you get your time alone and then you just be lonely and like, why ain't nobody here? And then you got people around and you want to be alone, it's stupid and fucked inside of my head, laughing and I'm crying. Am I living or am I dying? Uh, it's the way the ball bounces, G. Uh, but yeah, you know, that's kind of where it at. But like I said, I'm surviving. I'm out here doing it. I'm surviving and getting through every day as best as I can. Eating food, smoking weed, taking dabs, jerking off. Well, not always, but sometimes. Uh, you know, I, oh, shit. I do sometimes, go more than a few days. Um, but any hoot, kitten caboot, all of that, shoot. Um, I have no idea what I just said either, so calm down, Steve. Um, I guess I'm gonna roll up out of here. If I have time, if there is time, if time allows, when I get to Christina's office, I will shoot a little bit more. I can't promise anything though. So if not, if I don't have time, then thank you for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Or I'll see you in a minute. Snippy snip. What is up, you dudes? We are back too. Um, Check it out. We got some extra time before my appointment. Surprise, surprise. Not much of it though. We don't got much time, and oh, I think I am getting blown out over here. Oh, no, that's too much. I can actually see the screen today. What do you know? Not a whole lot. Definitely not much. Yeah. There are lots of nice sights out here today. It always is out here. It always is. So how you guys doing? How you guys been doing in that brief moment that I left you behind? I am sorry for leaving you behind. I am truly sorry. Um, do I got like tape or something right here? No, it's like a little piece of fur. I had fur, uh, pocket threes with the fur, and the whole club look at about to hurl. What was that version I used to sing? Was it shit? I can't even remember now. Something about skanky bottom, something boobs with the fur, and the whole club's about to hurl. I don't know. I'm just dumbing it up now. I am just dumbing the whole place up. The entire locality's IQ just dropped by about 20 points when I stepped out. Because that's how it goes. You know, my stupidity is contagious. So look at that butt. You know, and maybe that's why. Cause I just be like, look at it, too many butts. I don't know. Probably, but maybe not. Who knows? Not me. Not this guy. Um, so I'm trying to remember if like I had anything else new going on that I should like mention to you guys or whatever, you know, like I mean, since the whole point of this is really supposed to be like, you know, keeping a little update about what's going on in my life. And no, it's mostly just, you know, same old weed, loneliness, and porn. You know, that's pretty much my life story right there. Well, you know, it's not really all of it. We ride around, we do a few ride-alongs, and you know, a few other things, and every few days we jerk off, you know, but whatever. Okay, I'll stop talking about jerking off now, maybe. uh, I am sorry to be putting that image in people's minds, because that's not a very fun image. uh, you know, I definitely would not don't like picturing that, but you know, I guess since I have to picture that, I guess you guys have to picture that or something or another. uh, is that how it works? I don't know. I have like literally no idea. This guy just like looked at me like, what the hell is he doing out here? You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. And why do like these goddamn cigars always like go out on me? They do. They always go out on me. And not even to like get me dinner or anything. That would be nice if my cigar went out and then like came back with dinner and it was like, here you go, fat guy, get a little bit fatter. Oh, I guess I do have some breaking news since I just found out. Well, I mean, like I knew that, you know, I was gaining some weight after I quit taking the Ozempic, but goddamn, I'm like back up to like 290 now. You guys, I'm like back up to 290. I'm almost fucking 300 pounds again. God damn it. Uh, you know, I was down to 260. I was doing so good. And now I'm just going to be a fat duder on a scooter again, I guess. Um, that's how it goes. But, you know, I would rather be 300 fucking pounds than to be like throwing up for 3 days every fucking week. For really real. For really real. And all that nausea and stuff. I know I've mentioned this before, but I've had like actual hunger pains that were not nearly as bad. Like literally starving was not as bad as some of that nausea and stuff that was coming from the Ozempic. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my active track back on. Uh, that Ozempic was terrible. So I would highly recommend, if you're thinking about trying Ozempic, don't. Don't. Uh, Ozempic is a waste of time and a big ball of nausea and vomiting. Uh, and it's not worth it. Just be fat. Just be fat. Unless you're diabetic, and then just try something else. Because that's some bullshit. That is just some bullshit. So yeah, I guess that's my breaking news is, well, I mean, not that I wasn't already a big fat ass at 260, but now I'm an even bigger big fat ass at 290. But I did get them to order another sleep study, and we're probably gonna go do another eye exam and all of that good stuff. So that's good, at least, I guess. Again, I might be a big fat ass, but I'm gonna be a big fat ass that's not nauseous and throwing up all the goddamn time. That's the way the ball bounces, G. That is the way the ball bounces, G. And yeah, so I don't really know what else. Let's see, how much time do I got? I got like 15 more minutes. Jesus Henry Cavill Christ. They keep going out on me. Jesus Henry Cavill Christ. That's super, man. That's super, man. We have fun here sometimes. And this rain, just like, I knew it was supposed to rain, but it still, like, kind of came out of nowhere. And I'm weird about it. I'm feeling weird about it. I don't like the rain. I don't like it to rain. I am not Shannon Hoon and Blind Melon. I complain that there is rain. All I can say is that my life is pretty plain, Jane. I don't like watching the puddles gather rain unless I'm on my porch and chilling with some shelter, helter skelter or whatever, Anyway, I'm going to stop being dumb now, and I guess we'll go ahead and close this out. I got a few extra minutes with you guys, so, appreciate you. So thank you for watching. I love you all. Thanks for tuning in, blah, blah, blah. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one, babies. Bye.